Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. Today's reading is going to be about how do people view you / what do they think of you based off your social media. So when people open up your social media, what are they thinking? How are they viewing you? Okay. So feel free to watch more than one pile if you are someone who has like a social media personality and then you have like a personal Instagram. Because last time I did this, I feel like I was called to two groups. Because I watch my readings back to make sure they resonate for other people, they resonate for me kind of energy. So it's like I chose two piles, and one described me on my personal social media, and then one described me on my, this platform, I guess you would say. So if you're someone who makes content, make sure to watch one for that and one for the other if one doesn't resonate, okay? So that disclaimer being said, let's get right into the reading. Please, Spirit, how do my group ones come off on social media? What do people think of them? How do they view them based on their social media? Already, we have the Six of Wands, okay? So you're someone who's quite out there, quite popular. You kind of go after what you want. You're kind of giving me like a free spirit. You have no fear. Popular girl, popular guy kind of thing. Maybe you do sports in some kind of way. I'm hearing jockey, so that could be a thing as well. But definitely someone who's very successful, very out there, very in demand is what I'm hearing as well. So whatever you do, you're good at it, is what's coming through for you guys. So people could assume that you make a lot of money based on what you do, okay? You see how that card just flipped out? Okay, that's their first impression of you on social media. Someone who's quite successful. And I love that we have Nike coming through here. So if you are someone who like brands yourself as a person or a product, you're a successful product. You're a in-demand product. Everyone wants a little piece of you because Nike is a very famous product, and they sell more than just sneakers. Honestly, I was gonna say they're a shoe brand, but they sell everything. Well, not everything, but more than just sneakers. Honestly, at this point, they be doing collabs with Jordan. You have Nike Jordan, then they have the sweatsuits, suits, the socks. They have a bunch of stuff, water bottles. Like, you could definitely be someone who's expanding your brand. You're currently in the process of expanding your brand, or you're someone who has like a lot of branches in your brand, So for example, you can be someone who does beauty and you're branching out into traveling right now. What I'm thinking of specifically is Monet McMichael. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's big over on TikTok mostly. And she started off as like beauty, lifestyle kind of content. And now that she's more established in beauty and content or beauty and makeup content, she is now moving into like making music. Because every time she would post videos, I remember everyone would be like, oh my gosh, girl, you can sing so good, da 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 da. And she really can. She has a great voice, a beautiful, amazing voice. And I think the last time I saw a video of her, she released like a cover of something, a song with one of her friends, best friends. I forget the girl's name, child. Ari is her best friend's name. So her and Ari, because Ari is a singer, she makes singing content, you know what I mean? From what I can tell or what I know. And they kind of came together and started doing music, but Monet started off as like beauty, and then she would be singing along to her songs in her beauty videos when she's doing her hair, doing her makeup. People are like, oh my gosh, girl, you sing so good. And now I guess she's finally overcome her fear of being perceived as a singer or artist and released a little, you know what I mean? So I think you're someone who's like expanding your business, or it's only up from here. We have the moon coming through. I don't know. The moon in this deck just gives me someone who's quite beautiful. You're someone who's very beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I can't. And then we have the Emperor coming through here. So you're definitely a big boss. You're a big leader. So people are viewing you as a leader. They're viewing you as successful. I'm hearing like a trailblazer is what I'm mostly getting from you guys. People are seeing you as a trailblazer in whatever field you're in. They're kind of like, yeah, this is the people to beat. Or they're quite successful. They're really good at what they do. Is the vibe that I'm getting for you guys. Jesus Christ. Everything almost fell at that second, and then a card kind of flew out. Ooh, we didn't even get to this deck yet, but we have harmony, ease, inner child, and softness. Like, that's exactly the perfect way. Thank you, Spirit, because I'm trying to figure out why the moon gives me someone who's so beautiful when that's usually like called or reserved for the Empress, right? But we have this card coming through here. You're someone who's very harmonious. You kind of know who you are. You're very comfortable in who you are as a person. But the moon represents like secrets. So you could be someone who has like a secret talent, or you have multiple talents, right? Because the moon also kind of gives me like ethereal, very magnetic, beautiful, like something that you can see but can't touch. So there's a distance between who you are on social media and how people are viewing you. They're kind of like, oh, this person's like way out of my league. I'm never going to be able to be as successful as them, you know? That kind of energy. I'm never going to be able to do what they do, how they do it. Could be a thing coming through as well, especially because we have Nike, and Nike kind of gives me, what do you call it? Gives me, what do they used to call those things? Chariot races in the Roman times. And you kind of give me someone who is like the reigning champion of the chariot races. And people are like, oh my gosh, how am I going to beat her when she's unbeatable? Or how am I going to beat him when he's unbeatable, right? That's the kind of energy coming through. Some of you could do content where you do train and people are kind of like, oh my gosh, that body, I want it. And they're asking you for advice, that kind of thing. Like I said, whatever it is that you do, you're seen as someone who's very successful, very attractive, very appealing, and someone who has many talents, not just one, okay? You also have a big following because the Six of Wands is really the follower card. If we were seeing it in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, sorry if that was annoying for anyone, we see someone on a horse with a wand that's like draped in like a wreath. You know what I mean? And that's the only person who has the wreath. And everyone else is like following behind, walking, while the person on the horse is leading them. So you have a lot of followers. People listen to what you have to say. You have influence, okay? That's coming through, and that makes a lot of sense because we have Zeus coming through for you. And if anyone knows Zeus, I think he's one of the most popular like Greek gods that there ever was or ever will be kind of energy. Because we all know who he is. He's the leader of Olympus. He's the number one, numero uno kind of god on Olympus. And he tells everyone else what to do. Everyone kind of defers to him. He's top dog, okay? And that's what people are seeing you as, someone who's very powerful. You have a lot of clout, a lot of pull, whatever it may be, okay? But like I said, the moon, there's a distance there. They're kind of like, I'll never be able to meet them. They kind of like view you as like a celebrity status, because you know like how you love celebrities. You're kind of like, I'm never going to be able to touch them. I'm never going to be able to be in the same room as them, be around them, be friends with them. There's that distance between you and the people that are viewing you on social media, right? Excuse me, sorry. I don't know what's going on with me today. Well, the past few days, honestly, like noises and sounds been coming out of me, and I'm like, what is this and why? Please leave me be. Anyway, back to the reading. We have the May sweet and soft things find you. You are someone who kind of sells soft life, you know? Maybe no, not the hard wig. Maybe the hard wig. I don't know. I don't know you, okay? But you're someone who kind of sells soft life. You sell success. You sell being popular. You sell life looking easy and harmonious and in balance, right? That's kind of what I'm getting. You sell ease. Like, I'm so good at this. Let me show you how good I am at this, right? Some people could think you're like boastful, right? Or even prideful, you know, or even like you have a big ego, because Zeus, child, if you know anything about him, he had a big ego on him, and he was a tyrant, okay? Let's keep going. Please spare my group ones. How are they viewed on social media? How are people viewing them on social media? What do people think of them? We have Iris. Maybe you dress very colorful. You have pretty eyes. Could be something coming through as well, because the iris is the eye, but she's also the goddess of rainbows. You see, I'm so glad that I got this deck because I'm learning a lot. And I love learning. One thing about me, if you don't know me well, I love learning and having fun at the same time. So I'm doing something I love, tarot readings, but then I'm also getting these decks that I love on subjects that I love and learning throughout the way. So I'm like, I never would have known Iris was the goddess of rainbows until I found this deck, okay? But anyway, yeah, so that's something. Maybe you're someone who helps people learn as well. You teach them things, how to do makeup, how to do hair, how to look prettier, how to lose weight, how to do glamour magic. Those are my favorite videos on TikTok. Like glamour magic, what people do to get, you know, glamorified up, right? Their routines, what makeup they're using, you know, that kind of thing. Compare and contrast for my brain. Like, I need to know what's working good for them. Maybe it could work for me, that kind of energy, doing research kind of vibe. But I do believe there's something here about giving advice or being like a leader in something with the iris coming through. We have 10 of Wands though. 10 of Wands, you have like, yeah, this is what I'm getting. You have a lot of different things going on. 10 of Wands is someone who's always busy, right? But I'm hearing you carry it well. So it's not like you're on here doing a bunch of different stuff and pivoting and going here and going there and you tired, child. Like, you doing too much and you can't keep up. You can definitely keep up. I am getting like, I just heard charisma, but that's not the word I was looking for. I was looking for, dang, what is the word where you have stamina? There it is. Thank you. So some of you could do fitness for real because y'all have stamina where you can do this and then do that and then do this. Some of you can have ADHD as well, and that's something that you talk about openly, or it's just something people can see that you have and how they view you through social media. Because I'm getting someone who's like bouncing from this to that, the topic to topic to this to that kind of energy, But you can always get back to the point at the end of the day. Some people get lost in the sauce. Other people don't, okay? People can also feel like burdened or overwhelmed after consuming your content because they're kind of like, it's giving me like how sometimes I watch people on social media and they have like the perfect family, perfect husband, perfect kids, perfect house, perfect life. No one's life is perfect, but from what they're showing me on social media, it looks perfect. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel so like overwhelmed sometimes because they're doing so much and they're where I want to be essentially, and I'm not there yet. And I'm like, oh God, I'm a failure kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm getting for you guys. So that could definitely be a vibe of how people feel after coming off your page. Like, this could be something, you could be doing something they want to do. What you're doing could be something they've always wanted to do. And watching you do it while they're just watching you, okay? It's kind of like there's something like burdensome about that, right? So it has nothing to do with you. It's just you living your life, doing what you do, right? And they're kind of like, oh man, I wish I could do that too. And they definitely could. Like, what you're doing and the success you've had has nothing to do with them, but they feel that kind of like overwhelmed. Like, I wish I could be doing this and I wish I could be doing that. And I wish I could be going on deal trips and brand trips and getting sponsors and getting money off of social media. And I wish I could be doing this. I wish I had the courage that you guys have with the 6 of Wands and the Emperor coming through. I wish I had the leadership value. I wish I had the popularity. I wish I had the charisma, the personality, the looks of this person, the body type, whatever you want to call it. People are looking at you in that way. And I love that we have the 10 of Wands being the iris because it's playing very well into how they view you in their eyes. You know what I mean? And how you may have things that they don't have and it may overwhelm them sometimes or make them feel a little sad, okay? For others of you, I'm getting someone who's kind of like very ethereal, very like, I don't even know how to pronounce it or how to say what I'm feeling. Like, I think ethereal is the best word. It's kind of like someone who's in the clouds, someone who's like fairy, dream-like, mermaid-like is kind of the vibe that I'm getting here because I'm seeing like a lot of like elements of flow and glow and like, well, as you can see in this card here, flowers. So it's like someone who's very much one with nature, very much giving like fairy vibes. Maybe your aesthetic is very colorful and very cutesy and very beautiful because that ties into this harmony coming through here where you're one with nature. You could be someone who likes to be in nature, or you kind of give like a set sprite, fairy, mermaid kind of vibes. And that's how people review you. As someone who's like very beautiful and magnetic. But here we have the Page of Cups. You're also very playful and a little childlike, and that's what is coming through here with the inner child. Your inner child shines brightly through your content. And then the other card we have is the 7 of Swords, the Aries. But they represent revenge and retribution. So I don't know. With the moon, interesting. This is a very interesting like pair. Because it's kind of like you're doing like, is it evil deeds in the dark maybe? They think that you're mean on the low and you're just hiding it very well. Like, I don't know, maybe you're giving off a little bit of mean girl vibes. Like, I'm not sure. But that's how maybe some people are viewing you. Someone who's like throwing stones to hide their hands. Because besides the fact that the Aries means retribution and revenge, the 7 of Swords means someone who's hiding something or very like stealthy. They're very good at keeping things they don't want going or being out. They're very good at keeping things they don't want the public to see in the dark, in the shadows, okay? Just fix myself. Sorry, I had to get more comfortable. I don't know why every time I sit in a chair, I just like sit in like a weird position. And then when my legs start complaining, I'm like, why did you even sit down like that? That could not have been comfortable. Please. Anyway. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here for you guys. There's something here about you keeping things in the dark or keeping things that you don't want coming out. You're good at like hiding it. So you can be someone, if you are someone who's like bigger, or you're a celebrity, you just so happen to be watching, you know, my channel, what's up? Like, leave a comment. It's like you're good at like getting rid of negative press, you know? You're like your cookie cutter with the page of cups here. Nothing has ever gone wrong. You're innocent. You know what I mean? Very relatable, very beautiful, very pretty. And people are kind of like, what's wrong with them? Like, there has to be something wrong with them. They have to be low-key mean. They have to be low-key something. You know what I mean? They're lying to people. You know what I mean? Because no one can be this perfect, right? It's the kind of energy I'm getting for you guys based on how you come off on social media. Okay? But the moon has to do with intuition. It has to do with dreams. It has to do with secrets. So I don't know which one of those like pertain to you guys, whether it's you following your dreams, you being very dreamy and ethereal and kind of like cast in a little bit of shadow, like smoke and mirrors. People can never fully, truly grasp who you are because you keep who you really are hidden. And maybe they think you're putting up a front. Could be something coming through as well. But it's like something about that. They see you follow your dreams. Like I said, intuition is very strong on you. You have a good gut feeling, a good gut instinct. You're just very beautiful. You're very hypnotic is what is a vibe that's coming through as well. I'm also hearing someone that's like a nice voice. People can kind of like fall asleep to your voice. Maybe people are always telling you, oh, maybe you should do like, you know, reading books to people, you know. You know, maybe you should do audiobooks or whatever, you know, that voice acting kind of energy, you know. Okay, let's see what else is coming through for you guys. Your cards are so freaking talkative. People could be talking about you a lot, sharing your stuff, sharing your videos. This tripod is just such an op. It's crazy. Sit your behind down and stop pissing me off. It's all I know. Don't mind me. Yes, I talk to inanimate objects. Mind your business. Thank you. Here we have the Five of Swords in reverse. We have Aries. I don't really know much about her. I think I've read about her before, but I forget. I can't remember everything, you know? She did come out in reverse. So there can be something here about you being a very good communicator, very effective communicator, right? I think there's something here about you clearing up confusion as well, because we have the Emperor and this is coming out to clarify the Emperor. And this being like mean words, arguing, confusion, like people not really knowing what to say or what to think or what to do. It's definitely giving me, I wish my fingers would like, come on now. I want all the cards to be seen. Why am I hearing that song by Glorilla? I'm trying to be seen. It's 7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees, but I ain't got no ninjas and no ninjas ain't got me. Come on, I'm about to show my what, because I'm a freak. How the heck is that your man when he right here with me? What? Turned up with my, hey, turned up with my, hey, turned up at my show. Because I got that, like that song is such a hype song. Maybe you're someone who like does music, or when people come to your page, they get hype. You know, they're very excited. Maybe you hype them up. I was kind of getting that with the Five of Swords in reverse. Maybe you're someone who's big on positive affirmations, you know? You big people up, hype them up, make them feel good about themselves kind of energy. But that song is definitely a vibe, okay? It's TGIF by Glorilla for anyone who is interested, okay? So here we have the Hierophant card coming out. So you're living the good life, you know what I mean? You have the house, you have the car, you have the husband, you have the good food. For some of you, you do mukbangs, and people like that. I'm also hearing ASMR for others of you. I don't know, I hate ASMR, so I don't know why that would come through, but somebody here, ASMR is important, and people like the way you sound. That's what I was saying about your voice being attractive, okay? And what is it called? The Hierophant is Taurus energy, and Taurus represents the voice, the throat, okay? So that would make a lot of sense as well if we're talking about what people notice most about you based on your social media, your voice. With the moon is Pisces, and that's like the feet, or like your spiritual side, your soul, is what I kind of take it as. That just came through for the first time. Ooh, I'm gonna start using that now. Whenever Pisces comes through, that's your soul. But it's your feet as well, so you can have nice feet, okay? The Emperor is Zeus, and that's Aries energy, and Aries rules like the face, the head. You have like a very strong head. That could be your like temperament or like your face, like very strong features, you know, maybe masculine, maybe strong, maybe blunt, you know, blunt forehead, a blunt nose, thick, veiny neck is what I'm seeing as well, please. It doesn't have to be veiny, but it can be a thick neck, okay? But good bone structure and I'm trying to think of the word. It's something mature, something like that. It's it describes like the skeleton and the bones, you know. But yeah, infrastructure could be something coming through. So you have a strong body, and that would make a lot of sense with this whole athletically inclined vibe coming through. But you love to eat good food, okay? Like I said, you guys could do mukbangs or eating food, cooking food, whatever that may be for you. 10 of Wands. This card being the card that I was picking up as people like being not envious, but kind of like disheartened because they're not as successful as you, or they're not good at what you are. So this could be cooking, could be a thing coming through as well. Or like I said, the Hierophant card, especially in this deck, gives me someone who's living a lavish life, a lush life, if you will. And now I'm kind of hearing Lush Life by Zara Larsson. Get back in, 'cause I don't wanna hurt you. I went low, went high. What matters is now. Gotta get back in the mood. Hey, I live my life as if it were the last. I live my days as if there was no past. Doing it all night, all summer. Doing it the way I wanna. I'ma dance my heart out to the dawn, but I won't be done when morning comes. Doing it all night, all summer. Gonna spend it like no other. So living a lush life, okay? You're living every day like it's your last, okay? You're not holding anything back, essentially, is what's coming through. But then we have the King of Coins, which is coming back around to that being successful vibe that was coming through for you guys. So there is something very successful, very grounded, very entrepreneurial, very, I have 5 different businesses and I can keep up with all of them and I'm not like struggling and holding on by it, the skin of my teeth kind of energy. You could have people who work for you. You could have like employees. You could have just people who are always around helping, right? There could be people who are in your social media that people like to look at as well. So for example, I was thinking of Truly and how she likes to incorporate her sister and her boyfriend and friends and cousins and family into her content. It's not just her. Yes, it is her channel, right? But every other video is about pets. You know, most of them are about her, but she incorporates other people, family elements into her, or relationship elements, makeup elements, you know, what is it called? I'm thinking of how they would open like Labubus and go to Japan and, you know, dress so cutesy or whatever. Like she incorporates different things into her content. But I'm like people around you that you incorporate your content could definitely be something people like to watch as well. That's coming through, right? People are like, oh, you have collaborators. You have people who you can kind of bounce ideas off of, you know, people that can help you in your success kind of energy is coming through. Maybe just put that like right there. But very successful nonetheless with the 6 of Wands and the King of Pentacles coming through. Very, very successful. And with this Hyperion coming through, you could be someone who is quite hyper. That was coming through for you guys. Let's see what else is coming through. And look at how he's nice and look at that thick neck I was talking about. This is what I meant by thick neck. It don't gotta be veiny because his is not veiny, but you know, a strong neck, a strong back kind of vibe is coming through. Good posture if you're someone who shows yourself on camera. Okay. Strong shoulders is coming through as well. Wide shoulders could be coming through as well. Don't mind me. Because this tripod gonna stop beefing with me one of these days, alright? Or else. Please stop. Not me threatening a tripod. I'll do it too. Here we have the Great Goddess, Transcendence, Divinity, Shakti, okay? That's coming through for you guys. So people are seeing you as like this goddess-like figure. And that's what I meant by like this moon energy. The moon energy, like the Empress is like beautiful, of course. And she easily gets what she wants and attracts a lot of attention. Like I'm surprised that it come out for you. But I feel like it's more so who you are on the soul level that makes you very beautiful. You have like goddess-like energy, you know? Excuse me. or godlike energy, however you want to describe it, because we have Zeus coming through here for my masculines, right? So you have like God, the goddess like energy, and that's how people are viewing you. But where's the box? When you get back in the mood, I live my day as if it was the last. I live my day as if there was no past. So I wanted to read from the book for this card here, the Great Goddess. And I didn't realize this deck has like different elements. It's elemental deck. This is the Magical Spirit Oracle. So the Great Goddess is an air card, okay? And her number is 109. So the Great Goddess, she is transcendence, divinity, yin, Shakti, the feminine. And the affirmation spell is, I am empowered and awakened by the Great Goddess within. So there's a bunch of stuff in the book, but let's find a place. Sorry. Look at that. In this part right here, it says, many have tried to travel her depths to the place of the soul. What was I saying about soul earlier? But many have failed to make it to the place so full of everything you can hardly fathom any of it. It is total light and total dark. The harmonizations of forces, good and evil. A place where it's understood that the universe is as it should be. That the evolution of our collective consciousness is right on cue. So you're coming through with someone who's right in tune, okay? It says, the Universal Mother, Queen of the Cosmos, she who is she who is and she who gives eternal life, but who can also take it away. Okay, interesting. But it says, pulling the Great Goddess can be a sign that it's time to transcend your limitations and transmute them into power. So you're seen as someone who has kind of transmuted their limitations and turned it into power. You have the strength and intelligence it takes to do this. Finding the harmony came through for y'all, of both dark and light in your life, actualizing and honoring them both. You cannot have only one. So you fully balance out the darkness. Maybe you're someone who's very real. You kind of show the dark side of your personality and not just try to be perfect all the time. Or you're very authentic, very transparent, and people are kind of like, oh, I wish I could be that way online, but I can't. You know, I don't have the courage to do that, essentially. But that's what the moon was kind of giving me. And the moon is Pisces, and so is the, what is it called? The High Priestess. And she kind of gives me someone who's really good at transmuting darkness into light, and so on and so forth, you know. She meets you right in the middle. She meets you where you're at, is the kind of energy coming through. So it's kind of giving me, you don't require anything from the people who are coming on your channel. If you're someone who's like a content creator, you're not asking for anything. Maybe you're always giving knowledge or giving truth. That kind of thing could be coming through for you guys. Let's see what else is coming through from this deck here. But harmony is the perfect example of that. You may talk about dark topics, you may talk about light topics, but either way, people end up leaving energized because you transmute the energy from something that could, even if you're talking about it and it's heavy, while you're talking about it, you're transmuting it into lightness for them. So when it comes out, it doesn't sound as dark or as heavy as it would be if it wasn't you speaking it, if that makes sense, right? So it's kind of like as the words are coming through, you're deciphering them and making them more palatable for people where they're not scared or hurt. So maybe you take things that are not easily understood and make them easily understood, if that makes any kind of sense to you. Like, I wish this card over here would stop playing in my face. I'm really not in the mood. Thank you. Like, do I gotta push this back? Okay, let's get some last final cards from this deck here. It says adaptation, so you're definitely someone who's able to adapt to many different circumstances, okay? With the Seven of Swords and the Moon card coming through here, maybe you do talk about darker topics or subjects. That's not going to be for everyone, but that's coming through. I'm getting an energy of you. Oh, that's funny. You could help like people, what is it called, hack into their boyfriend's phone to figure out if he's cheating on them, kind of energy. But I don't know, like that is like what I'm getting. You're teaching them useful things that they can use in their actual real everyday life. It's not just, oh, we're talking about nothing. We're talking about things of substance. Even if we're doing makeup while doing it, even if we're dancing while doing it, we're still talking about something that will change lives, that will transmute energies. Excuse me. Here we have listen. So we have adaptation, we have listen. So yeah, there's something here about people wanting to listen to you, because when they're on your channel or whatever it is that you may do, your page, your feed, when you come up for them on social media, they stop and listen. Okay, most people like will keep scrolling in this day and age, especially because everyone's attention span is shorter and shorter as the years go by. But they stop and listen to what you have to say. Okay, if that's something you were ever worried about, there's no need to. And like with this adaptation here, that's what I meant about you doing a bunch of different stuff. You're not someone who does just one kind of content. You do a bunch of different kinds of content, you know? Beauty, fashion, spirituality, art, singing, like things like that. And you kind of bring them all together into one person, into one page so beautifully, where it doesn't look like you're overwhelmed or you're chewing, biting off more than you can chew, is the saying, I believe. Okay. The King of Pentacles is very good at handling business, and you're very good at handling business. Here we have temptation. That's that moon energy. There could be something, and the Six of Wands, there could be something here about people lusting after you, or like falling in love with you after knowing you or seeing your profile. Especially if you're someone who's like fashion, fitness, or beauty. People leave like, oh my gosh, this person is so beautiful. It's kind of like they joined your cult. So if you told them, hey, go buy this mascara, they're going to buy it. If you told them, hey, go buy this thing, it's going to make your skin so clear, they're going to trust you. There's something here about that, people trusting you. And that's what it's giving here, secrets. You could trade in secrets. That's a very interesting concept. Because these two here look like they're gossiping, and I want to know what they're talking about. So that could definitely be a thing as well. Maybe there are certain friendships you showcase on the screen or on your profile that people want a part of. They want to know what you were whispering, what you're giggling about. That they want to be on the inner circle of your life. And that's not always possible, you know? Where did the cards go? I'm like, I only pulled out two. Let's see if any other cards will come out. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys. For how people are viewing your social media. You're kind of like a trailblazer, force to be reckoned with, CEO kind of vibes, boss babe, boss guy, boss dude energy. You could have people working for you. It says trust in the places you feel guided towards, space, time, and self. Infinity, reincarnation, 5D. So there is a spiritual aspect to you. Doesn't have to be for everyone, but there's something here about you like helping to elevate their minds in a kind of way, or teach them something new, or show them something new, or show them that what you're doing can be a career, can make you money, can make you buy a house and afford the rent every month, and to buy the house. You never really know. Maybe you teach them or help them go after their goals, you know? Trust in the places you feel guided towards. You're helping them find the places they're guided towards, you know? Stop saying you know. Shut up. Gosh. Okay, that's enough. We're doing too much now. This is too much. Here we have the past, releasing, rebirth, spring. And that was coming through in that song by Zara Larsson. I live my day as if it were my last. I live my day as if there were no past. So the way you live in the moment, you're carefree, okay? Vulnerable could be something coming through as well. But here it says, and so I listened as my soul coming through again, told me to let go so that I may awaken to how much I have grown. And then we have Memento Mori, which is life, presence, and depth. Yeah, so it goes deeper than skin. It's skin deep for y'all. It's deeper than skin deep, honestly. The things you do, the things you talk about, what you show, it's not just about looks or beauty or surface level topics. You go deep and there's depth, you know? That make people feel seen in a way. Yeah, and this is like that straddling the line between life and death, straddling the line between darkness and light. That's definitely something you do, which is beautiful. The meaning is in the middle. You're not someone who's like far leaning or far right or far left. You're kind of like, I'm a little bit in the middle here, you know? I'm a little bit of both. You know, you have that extreme to you. Maybe you are someone who finds revenge on people. Wouldn't that be something? Oh my gosh. Okay, but I'm going to leave your reading right here, though. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading, you could always do so using my email in the description box below. But I do hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this. Like, hype it if you feel called to do so. Join the memberships on the channel if you feel called to do so. Book a reading if you feel called to do so. But as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group twos. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. Today's reading is going to be about how do you come off on social media. So basically, if someone were to go to your profile, hang around a little bit, scroll, like, if they were to just visit for a little bit, what would they think? Okay, how do you come off? That kind of energy. How are they viewing you? So if you are someone who has like a private social media account and then you're someone who has like a public social media account like myself, I would recommend you watch 2 readings if you feel called to 2 readings, or just be very mindful about what you're watching for, your private social media or your public one, or maybe both will come through. Who knows? Okay, but I did this reading like a while back, maybe a year ago. And I remember being called to 2 groups. And one was my private social media and one was my public ones. And they both resonated. So just keep that in mind, okay? So let's get into the reading. Maybe there's a spotlight on you, or you get a lot of attention, or whoever is viewing your stuff kind of sees you as a star in the making, is what I just heard. I just heard like making the band. So maybe some of you do like music and that's what people think and how you come off as a musician, as an artist, as a creator, okay? You do songs, compilations, mashups, medleys, all that. So please Spirit tap me into the energy of my group twos and how they come off on social media, please. How are people viewing them on their social media? What do people think? Whoop, that flew right out. So people have thoughts. I heard you're talented. Is this the moon at the bottom? No, it just looked like it. This is Judgment. Look at that. And I'm like, and they have opinions. And I'm like, what is at the bottom of the deck? Judgment. Makes a lot of sense. Are we surprised? No. Nothing in the tarot reading is surprising to me anymore. Because if it's not going to come through one way, it's going to come through another way. These were way too many cards. I'll keep those and just shuffle some more. Please Spirit for my group twos. How do they come off on social media? We have the Ace of Swords, Chaos. You talk too much. But like I said, you're using your voice in some way, whether it's singing or renditions or think pieces, you know. What do they call it? It's not a hot topic. It could be hot topic. That makes me think of Wendy Williams. So you could definitely be a talker, a blogger, a reviewer, something like that. But what is it called? Hot take. There it is. You could have hot takes on social media, and that's where the Judgment card was coming out, because you kind of give your opinion on a lot of things. People are like, people are either going to agree and like what you have to say or disagree, right? So it's definitely giving ops. There's people who have opinions about what you post and what you say and what you do, whether it's people you know or just strangers, okay? Keep in mind that if you have a private account and you chose this pile, then it's people you know. If you have a public account, then it's people you know and strangers, you know? Make sure to be very mindful when you're watching general tarot readings, okay? So you can definitely be someone who's very mindful. I'm hearing someone who's very woke. We have memento mori, life, presence, and depth. So you are someone who has like a lot of depth to your character. You do think pieces. That's what I'm getting. You're someone who's very smart, intellectual. I'm getting a little vibe like spiritual, but I feel like that is like to be taken with a grain of salt, because I feel like everybody who's watching a tarot reading has an ounce of spirituality in them. So it's not something that's like, oh my gosh, you know, something that's surprising. You know, I want to get the tea, the juice, okay? That could also be something you do. You guys are kind of giving like a, not a shade room kind of energy, but it's like you could gossip or just, like I said, give your opinion on things. It's definitely giving you talk a lot. But you also give a lot of insights as well, a lot of knowledge with this Ace of Swords coming through. I just want all the cards out at once, please, for my group twos. How do people view them on social media? How do they come off on social media? Very intelligent. I think you could do like how-to videos or tutorials, or you just spread basic knowledge, or maybe the knowledge isn't basic, because if it was basic, then you probably wouldn't have a video about it, right? I'm hearing Shane Dawson conspiracy theories, so you kind of get to the meat and potatoes of like a bunch of conspiracy theories or celebrity gossip, or you know what's going on in the news, that kind of energy. You bring information to people. You could be a journalist as well, but your job is information. Okay. Your job is information. Then we have the sound of silence coming through. So others of you don't talk enough. People wish you would talk more. But for most of y'all be chatting. I don't care what the cards say. Okay, so the first card we have that actually flipped over is the Ace of Swords. Okay, and the Ace of Swords is chaos. So you can come off as someone who is somewhat chaotic. I'm also hearing photographer as well. So some of you could do photography. But either way, it's giving something in the arts where you put your opinion out there for the public to either accept or get upset about, you know, or respond to, right? Engagement is a big thing for you guys. So you're either getting a lot of engagement or you're not getting so much, but it's like you put things out there for people to react to. You know, you could also be those people who do reaction videos as well. But we have Ace of Swords coming through, which is like, I'm hearing the spread or the spreading of wisdom, knowledge. There's something about that coming through. Let's see what else is coming through. We have the Two of Wands, so adventure blogger. There's like this one girl on TikTok who kind of put me on to how to like get cheaper tickets for your flights if you wanted to go out of country. Because sometimes when you're going out of country to just one straight shot, no layovers or whatever, the tickets can be quite expensive. So she was like spreading knowledge about how she learned to get tickets cheap or cheaper, a little less expensive if you're traveling out of the United States. And I'm like, yes, girl, put me on game, please, because I'm trying to become a worldwide traveler. Is the kind of energy. So you could be someone who puts together itineraries, or you go to different places and leave reviews for them. Like, I'm getting that kind of vibe from you guys, whether it's something you do purposely or as a job, or to get more followers, or to be famous on social media, or if it's just something you just so happen to post, right? Your opinion is very like coming through very strongly. So you do be posting stuff. I'm telling you, if you're the kind of person who will be posting, I don't know what to tell y'all. This might not be a reading. Here we have the Five of Swords in reverse. Some of you may have been called to group one. This came through in group one as well. So the Five of Swords in reverse is reiterating, or it's confirming to me that you bring clarity where there was once darkness or misinformation or confusion, right? Because the Five of Swords represents all those things: misinformation, confusion, conflict, like misunderstandings, arguments, stuff like that. So it's kind of like you come out and you you know, this is giving me how, you know how some celebrities be fighting sometimes, or when you watch reality TV, those people be going back and forth. You're the kind of person that's like debunking it or summarizing it, or like just rehashing what's going on in pop culture. That could be what some of you do. There's something here about maybe conflict surrounding you and your page specifically, right? So you're definitely someone who raises a lot of eyebrows and wags a lot of tongues. Maybe it's because you do things that are out of the box, or you do things that are very unconventional, right? And when you think of unconventional, you could be thinking, oh my gosh, tarot and spirituality and lighting incense and being mindful and doing affirmations and candle magic. All these things are unconventional. They may be like conventional to you, but if someone who doesn't dabble in, you know, spirituality in any way, shape, or form is coming to your page and seeing you do all these things, you're gonna be like, oh wow, this person is quite interesting, eh? You know what I mean? And they're just talking and talking and talking about things I don't know. And then there are other people who come and, you know, that's what it's giving me. The Five of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Swords. People are coming to you like, oh, how does this person feel? How does that person feel? What are they thinking? What are they da-da-da-da, right? And they're coming to you in hopes that you're going to bring them some clarity in the situation. Because when it comes to tarot, like a lot of it is about not even misconceptions, but it's about getting clarity and figuring out what's wrong. Should I text them? Should I not? Do they like me? Do they not? Will I be falling in love soon or not? Like, oh, my next person will be like, you just want some foresight, you know? Sorry, and the Ace of Swords kind of gives that. And the Two of Wands, I don't know why in this instance is kind of giving me seeing into the future, because this guy, the way he's holding his wand is kind of giving magic wand, you know? So you can definitely be seeing as someone who's quite magical, quite informative, quite spunky, you know, quite quirky, that kind of thing. And you're like a truth teller. People know when they come to you, you're going to be telling the truth. They can trust you. It's kind of like Keith Lee, is that his name, on TikTok? But he got really big during the pandemic, because he would go around eating food and like just reviewing it, right? Just for funsies, you know? And then he became someone who's well trusted in the food reviewing world, right? I'm also hearing, I forget that girl's name. Is it Quinn? It's not coming to me. Just like a black girl, very silly. I think she got a little big on social media reviewing food, like mukbang, stuff like that. Oh boy, why can't I remember her name? How annoying. But yeah, she's also very quirky, you know, very unserious. She has dimples. Yeah, but her full name is not coming to me. Annoyingly so. But that's what's coming through for you guys. You know, you're very like, I don't know. You're out there. People, you could be loud as well. I don't know why the sign of silence came through for y'all, because that's cap and that's a lie. Like, that's a lie. The lie is kind of determined that was a lie, okay? You have a lot of personality, a lot of spunk is definitely what I'm getting for you guys, and a loud mouth, okay? So here we have justice. Yeah, there's something here about bringing clarity, bringing light, bringing justice, bringing truth to a matter. You know what I mean? And it could be about you traveling certain places or debunking certain things, or this was a rumor, this wasn't a rumor. It's kind of also, I'm getting, just bear with me, okay? I be watching TikTok a lot, okay? And as someone who swore they would never download TikTok, they didn't want to get TikTok, now I'll be on there. So what's a girl to do? You can't blame a girl for trying, right? I got to get with the times. But basically, there was, before I lose the story of the example, I might have already lost it. Okay, there it is again. See? Not Harry Potter bringing it back. Let me stop before I forget it again. So basically, there's a lot of black women who love to speak on their experience in Italy, because there's a very like long running mythos that they're very racist against, you know, colored people that have colored skin, right? Black people in particular. And there are some women who would like rehash their trips to Italy, and they would be like, oh my gosh, I was treated like an empress over there. I was treated like a queen. The men were like, you know, kissing the ground that I walked on, and they loved me and they were worshiping me over there. And then there's some black women who are like, they were ignored, they were belittled, they were talked down to, they were treated unfairly, they were given looks, everyone wanted to stay away from them. And now, as a black woman myself, who always loved the thought of going to Italy, I'm like, wait, which one is it? Do they love us? Do they hate us? You know what I mean? And it's giving me, you're the kind of person who's like, you know, diary journaling kind of thing is what's coming through for you guys. But I also like had an epiphany the other day. Okay, so basically, can this thing, I'm trying to, you know what, leave it alone. I'm doing too much. So basically, I was like, my sister invited me to go somewhere this year with her and her friends on a trip, and I'm like, you know what, I'm trying to get more into my traveling bag, so yeah, let's see. But something made me think to like do my astrocartography to see if I would even have a good time in that area based on what planets may or may not align in that, you know, specific part of the world. And I did my astrocartography, and then it was pretty positive. It was pretty good. I forget which planet is on that place she wants to go, but I think it was like either the sun or Jupiter or like Venus, one of those. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it got me thinking that maybe the recollection of Italy is so skewed because the women who are going there and that have a horrible time may have Mars or Saturn or Pluto on their Italy or astrocartography line. And then the women who said they had a beautiful time and they were given money and riches and treated so well may have Venus or Jupiter or the sun or the moon on Italy. And I'm like, you know what? That's a great way to think about it, because why are we all black? But we're going over there and having different experiences. It makes sense, right? And then it clicked, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's astrocartography. That makes more sense to me. You know, there has to be an explanation, because all the women, they all be beautiful in my opinion. And I'm like, okay, so y'all all beautiful. We all Black. We all in this together, and we going over there and having such different experiences. I don't know who to believe. Now, wherever I go in the world, I'm not gonna go or consider going until I do my astrocartography and see how it will be. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm getting here for you guys. You could be the person who's like giving those reviews. I went here and I went there, and you should visit here if you go there, you know, that kind of energy. But you're definitely giving someone who's well-traveled. You have lots of ideas. You're bright. You're intelligent. You know what I mean? You talk a lot, right? And then here we have the Knight of Coins. Okay. Someone who's very patient. It's giving someone who's very grounded as well. You're giving someone who knows what they're talking about. I can't help but keep getting that. Someone who knows what they're talking about. So you're seen as like a reliable source. Okay, let's see if we can get some more cards to clarify some of these cards. So please, Spirit, what else is coming through for my group twos? How do people view them online? We have the Wheel of Fortune, and you won't believe that the Wheel of Fortune came out already. You have to believe me, because it's happening right in front of your face. Okay, and then here we have Strength, and look at how we have the World. We have Atlas coming through. So let's get 3 more cards. Please, Spirit, how do people view them online? How do they come off online? What do people think of them based on their online persona? All those are valid. So you could definitely be someone who has a persona online. You have like a personality. People see you as someone who has a big personality. Yeah. As well as other things. If you're a guy who posts your nether regions, you could be seen as someone who has like, not even just the energy, but you got big Z, big zaddy energy, okay? And it's not just an energy, okay? Like, it's giving big dog, okay? So we have these cards. Let me put them up here. That's lopsided, pretty sloppy. Maybe a little better. Who knows? So we have the World clarifying Ace of Swords, not the World, Wheel of Fortune, apologize. And the Wheel of Fortune clarifying the Ace of Swords is someone who has the gift of gab. So like I said, you have a really magnetic personality. When people are watching you on social media, they're kind of hooked. They want to see more. Is the kind of vibe that I'm getting here from the Wheel of Fortune, okay? It's like you were someone who's like very gifted. You were given, like I said, if you're a singer, if you're an artist, you make music, you write books, you're seen as someone who is gifted, like with like the, not even just the gift of gab, honestly. You were gifted with the art of storytelling, you know, or being able to just speak something, not even speak something. So storytelling, we'll leave it at that, right? Because I'm getting, you know, when people be online giving story times, if it's boring and dragging on and ain't nobody gonna sit there and watch you tell a story. But you guys are giving great storytellers. If you have the gift of gab, or you were gifted with amazing storytelling, or, you know, writing or singing, people are going to be more inclined, you know, to sit there and watch, right? And it has nothing to do with your looks, is what I'm getting. It has everything to do with your voice, how it sounds, or what you create, you know, or what you post. If you're not someone who's like an active content creator, whatever you post, they're kind of like, oh, I want to know what they're doing now. People be nosy when it comes to you, is all I can say, okay? They be watching, like I said, with that Judgment card that was coming through. Then we have Strength Atlas coming out to clarify the Two of Wands. So the Strength card all has to do with like overcoming obstacles. So you could definitely be someone who is very transparent about maybe some of the struggles you've gone through in life. You could be someone who's quite transparent about that. And people are seeing you as like, I don't know, like an example. People are seeing you as someone to look up to and aspire to be, you know? They're kind of seeing you as someone who's a beautiful example of overcoming. Whether it's stress, whether it's strife, whether it's bad health, it doesn't really matter. Whether it's adversity, you know what I mean? Like you're the person who overcame. Gosh, why am I stuttering? Please. You're the person who overcame. Two of Wands being an energy about discovery, about setting plans, setting intentions, and the Strength card clarifying that you could definitely be someone who goes after and you do what you say you're going to do, you know? You could be seen as someone who's very brave, right? I'm getting a little bit of like journalism, if I didn't say that already, which I think I probably did, but it doesn't hurt to repeat. You're giving me journalism. You travel the world and try to like bust stories so other people don't have to do it, right? You have that fearlessness in you. I'm here like fearless wit. There's also another word coming through. Fearless curiosity. That's interesting. Anything to get to the truth. Okay, y'all are interesting. Quite. Okay, so now we have, wow, Judgment actually came out. Are we surprised? No. But we have the Five of Swords in reverse and Judgment. Now, it did come out in reverse. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep it like that, but we're going to put it down the way it came out. Here we have Judgment coming through. Whew. And Judgment in reverse is kind of like, I don't know, like I don't think that it's supposed to be in reverse, honestly, based on what I've been getting so far from you guys, because the Judgment card is about following the inner voice, following your calling, doing what you're supposed to do. So whatever it is that you do on social media, people think it was your calling and you were meant to be doing it, right? So I think we're going to put this back in upright, because the fact that we have Athena coming through here, you were coming through as someone who's very intelligent, very, you know, I'm hearing noteworthy, interesting, very courageous. And then we have Athena, who is like, I think she's the goddess of like wisdom. She's also the goddess of the hunt. No, that's Artemis, sorry. She's also the goddess of strategy, right? So battle strategy. And it's like everyone would come to her when it was time to go to war, hoping that she would like give them inspiration, give them help, give them assistance, right? It's like, what do they used to call it? Petition. So whenever they were going to war, they would come and petition her and like be with me during this war, help me come up with a strategy that will help me win kind of energy. So it is giving me that like something here about motivating or encouraging or informing to then go and do something yourself, right? So hey, if you want to travel here, you want to travel there, this is what I recommend for you to do, but make it your own kind of thing. You know what I mean? But there's something here about knowledge and consumption, right? That's all that I can keep getting from you: knowledge, consumption, and speaking. Those are like the strong things that are coming through for you guys, okay? But yeah, like I said, with Athena coming through here, there's something very wise about you. You have leadership qualities. It's kind of like giving people would follow you to the end of the earth. If you were like in jail somewhere, people would come and like, is it supply bail for you? Because they're like, nah, not my person. It's giving you could be the kind of person who like obtains a cult-like following where people are so dedicated to you, they're willing to do some things. You know what I mean? It's kind of giving me the women who like fall in love with men in jail, right? Not saying you would do that, right? You couldn't, who knows? Not my business. But the people who fall in love with men in jail and they're kind of like ride or dies for that waste, not too much. In my opinion, you're wasting your life on someone who went to jail because they decided to already waste their life. So why are you waiting for them to come out? Like, no, I could never be that lonely, okay? Unless I'm waiting for Nelson Mandela to come out, Mahatma Gandhi. Those are two people who are arrested that I would stick beside, right? But the rest of these men out here, or women, whoever y'all be messing with, I'm not going to follow them to the ends of the earth. But people who watch you, they would. And funnily enough, it's making so much sense because the Judgment card and the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot are people who are literally worshiping, following, rising from their grave to follow the angel Gabriel into the afterlife, you know? The life that we were promised. So like I said, it's giving cult-like following out here, guys. People like literally like will follow you to anywhere. And child, be careful. Because people who are so gung-ho and like die-hard fans like this, they can be dangerous, right? They could go from being a fan to a stalker real quick. So just keep that in mind, okay? But it's like giving literally what I was saying, about how people would petition the gods and the goddesses for their help. You know, it's people think that you are like at the level of like a god or a goddess. Okay. This took a left field. Okay, let's see what else came through for you guys. Here we have the Knight of Wands, Heracles. Yeah, so there's hero worship coming through here. There's people who think you have a lot to offer and they're willing to like follow. Like I said, we're not going to keep repeating that. But it's like they're willing to do whatever you say kind of energy. It's like you better get on your knees and bark like you want it. And they're going to be down there. You know what I mean? It's like giving a yearning energy. I'll do anything for you kind of energy. You know? It's giving how people were like fainting when Michael Jackson was on the Super Bowl stage for like 8 minutes straight, just standing still. And there are women and men in the crowd just fainting and crying and throwing up and going wild. And the man was just standing there. He was not performing. He was not dancing. He was not doing any of those things. And those crazed fans were in the audience fainting and throwing up and dehydrated and just getting so excited to see their man, to see their person, to see one of their favorite artists, because that man just had impact. He had depth to him. He had soul to him, you know? He had heart. He had jokes. You know what I mean? He was a very interesting person, and their personality, your persona just draws people in. And they're kind of like, you know what? I can get behind this, right? Like, I'm telling you, I will never get over that Super Bowl performance. So I'm like, Michael, please, let these girls breathe. He stood there for a good, like, 5 minutes and then started slowly going to take off his glasses. And people loved seeing his eyes, Michael Jackson. I don't know what it was, but I remember when I'm a Michael Jackson fanatic. I'm a diehard fan, child. This is why I'm going so hard. I was in love with that man for probably all my life, okay? Anyway, I remember he was doing an interview, not even an interview, relax. He was accepting his Grammy nominations. And I remember he was going up for like his 7th one. And he was like, I promised all the girls in the back that I would take off my glasses if I won another Grammy. He won another Grammy, took his cute behind on the stage, took off his glasses, and all the girls on the top row were going wild. And I'm like, that's my man. I'm stick beside him. Okay. It's giving that. He was just standing there on the Super Bowl stage, stock still. And they were invested in every breath he took. Then he started raising his hands up real slow to get those glasses off. And they were going crazy. Never seen nothing like it, child. I tell you, that man had pull. He had gravitas. Okay? And then he was also very intelligent. Okay? I think he was like a Pisces rising, Virgo sun. I don't know his moon. I need to look that up. Okay? But that's what's coming through here. Someone who's highly spiritual. And I love how he had like Pisces and Virgo, which are like sister signs. And Pisces is known to be like the most spiritual sign. But right on the other side of that is Virgo. And they're also very spiritual as well. And he had both in his big three. So someone who was very in touch with the collective as a whole, right? And that's something that draws people in as well, okay? So now we have the 7 of Swords. Some of y'all could be from group 2. Or like I said, if you were to choose more than one group, because one group was your personal profile and the next one was your public profile, whatever, public persona, private persona, whatever. You could have been from group 1. That could have been your other persona, right? So here we have the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is about revenge, retribution, or I should say the Arians, however you pronounce their name, are about revenge and retribution. And the 7 of Swords is about stealth. It's about doing things and not getting caught. It's about sneaking off in the night. It's about throwing stones to hide your hands. It's about all those things. It's about like keeping the ultimate poker face so no one knows what you're thinking or feeling. And the card we have on top of that is the 7 of Pentacles. Sorry, why am I saying things? The 7 of Pentacles where, madam, please. On top is the Knight of Coins, and that is someone who is very patient, very stock still. They can stand in place for 5-10 minutes and then slowly go to move their glasses, and they're just staying in character. So like I said, there could be something here about you being an actor, an actress, a singer, or whatever, because all those people I feel like have to have a persona. The way Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, right? And who else has another persona when it comes to their performing character? Like, it's giving that kind of energy where you have to put on a new personality or persona when it comes to performing, because it's just like that's who you are, you know? It's like another side of you came out to grace the world with his presence. You have that online gravitas. Not even online. I meant online gravitas. Wow. That came out. I didn't even mean to say it. I meant to say on stage, gravitas, but Spirit Self, they said online, right? So yeah, we have the 7 of Swords here where you can do things very stealthily and sneakily and not really be, people wouldn't know. So you're very sneaky. You're very like good at hiding things is what I'm getting as well. Or going around unnoticed is what I'm saying as well. Is what's coming through. So maybe you're someone who makes such a great impact on people online, but you don't show your face. So if they were to see you in person, they wouldn't be able to tell who it's you. They wouldn't be able to tell it was you because they don't see you online, or they don't see you when you're making your videos, and they're just like, okay, wow, I don't know who that man is. The Keke Palmer, child, I could see him walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. It's the kind of vibe coming through because you keep yourself private, but then you also come on here. I'm getting tarot reader vibes from you guys. I know mostly tarot readers are the ones who do the whole, as you can see right now, you're not really seeing what I look like. You know, you're just seeing my hands and the cards. So people are like, oh my gosh, you know what you're talking about, and you're so fair, and you're so balanced, and you're so just, and you're so righteous, and you're so like such a good person deep down. You know what I mean? But I've never met you. If you were walking by me on the street, I wouldn't know who you are, kind of energy, and there's like some mystery to that. And that was also kind of coming through for group 1. So group 1 and group 2 can be connected, okay? So here we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through again. People can consider you someone who's very lucky. Like, I'm not really getting like money, but the Wheel of Fortune can, represent that someone being very lucky is what's coming through mostly. I feel like you're someone who's very lucky, or like you were blessed with certain gifts. The Wheel of Fortune in this instance, boy, the Wheel of Fortune in this instance is specifically giving me someone who was blessed with spiritual gifts, and people want to know how they got that, or they were blessed with gifts in general. Spiritual gifts don't always have to be clairvoyant, clairaudience. It could be someone who has the gift of gab, of curiosity. They have the gift of convincing people. They have the gift of musicianship, how to write songs, how to write books. You know, you're seen as someone who's very gifted in whatever sense of the word that may mean to you, okay? You definitely do create things. And it's giving me an energy of someone who's like slowly but surely trying to step to the spotlight. So maybe you've been like inching more into the front of the camera, whereas before you were someone who's behind the camera, right? But either way, you're someone who's very powerful, because sis is literally here brushing her hair, okay, while there's skulls at her feet, unbothered. Oh my gosh, why am I hearing like is it a He-Man woman hater or He-Man man hater? Maybe people think you don't like the opposite sex, or just people in general, you know? I think it's like a She-Man man hater, something like that. A He-Man woman hater, I don't freaking know, but it's giving that vibes is what I'm getting as well. Maybe you're someone who's seen as like not so social, right? Or people don't know who you are. Like I said, you just post videos and they don't really see your face, you know? You could be seeing the someone who's like a lot of hair as well. Someone who's very lucky, someone who's very fortunate. Okay, I'm hearing fortunate to have you, girl. Don't you know I really adore you? That song's coming through. I forget who sings it, but I think it's Usher. What's going on? Saying I'm your son, saying I'm your girl, you're my man. I'm gonna love you the best I can. I've been there, done that, messed around. After all that, this is what I found. What song is that? Nobody wants to be alone, and you can tell by the verse of the song. You Got It Bad. I think that was the first song that I was singing. It could be something different, but I don't know. Anyway, the next card we have is forgiveness. So you're seeing someone who's very forgiving. You are giving me someone who kind of like reads people to filth, but then you turn around and like have patience, you have grace for them, you know? So you're seeing someone who's like very forgiving on social media. Okay, here we have give and receive. So you're known as someone who's very giving. Okay, I think it's giving me you're someone who responds back to people. Even if you do have a huge following, you take your time to be a good person to them. Even if you are a big celebrity, you take the time to stop and hug your fans and interact with them because they made you who you are. You know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, I'm this person all stuck up. No, you've kept your, I guess, your modesty. You're still down to earth. And then we have the sound of silence. I don't even know what that means. Maybe you like to be by yourself, could be something as well. Or what you post on social media is always you by yourself. You know, it's always you having a think piece, a hot take, whatever. But it's always you by yourself. They don't really see you with other people, you know? That could be in regards to a connection, whether you're single like that or you just post content where it's just you. And they see you as like a solitary creature. Like, I am burning up right now. I don't know why they have the heat so high in the office, but I am burning up. And I've been burning up all day. But this is the first time I feel like I'm really uncomfortable with it. So you could be someone, gosh, you could be someone who's very attractive, okay? I looked down, I saw that this Justice card has her eyes like wrapped around. So this could definitely be you not knowing how beautiful you are. And sorry if I keep stuttering. I don't know what's going on with me. It says, honor the flow of all the emotions, alchemy, processing, sensitivity. Okay, yeah. So definitely seen as someone who's quite sensitive, highly sensitive person. After all that, and then I love how she has like the moon at the top of her forehead, the one that sticks. I love that. But yeah, honor the flow of all the emotions. You definitely honor your emotions, and you honor other people's emotions. You hold space for their emotions as well. Here we have potential and possibility. It says, reach out to the potential that is calling for you. Potential and possibility. So people do think you're going places, whether you've gotten there yet or not. You seem to be going places. But the potential and possibility says future, highest self, and quantum. And that's kind of what I was getting as well. These cards are mostly just spiritual kind of cards, right? But I think they do apply to you, okay? You were meant to wake up and be a priestess or I don't know where that came from. Wait, I'm going delirious for a second, guys, there. But yeah, you're meant to be a priestess. That came through, so take it as if it resonates. But wow. You're meant to be someone who's big. You're meant to make it, get a, big break or something, and that's what's coming through for you guys. Oh, that was crazy. No, maybe, because I was saying there's like a moon on your forehead. Maybe that's where I got the priestess from, but that really just came out. I didn't mean for it to, so that could be something for real. Okay, the next card we have is Growing Pains, and it says healing, patience, and unconscious. So that, yeah, the High Priestess vibe is coming through for you guys. The High Priest, the High Priestess, the Hierophant, whatever. Then we have the Voyager. Look, I was talking about traveling. You're always going somewhere. It's okay to forget and then remember all over again. It says return home, lessons, realization. So what the lessons you learned in life are what you teach people to then be on the lookout for, or you help them overcome those lessons or get through those lessons, honestly. Okay. And then we have the card that started off or came out in the beginning. We have 22 Memento Mori. The meaning is in the middle. And that's literally what this card is about. It's okay to forget and then remember all over again. It's kind of giving one foot in the grave and one foot not, or one foot on the other side. You could be seen as almost like a medium or something. Either way, like I said, your job or your social media describes you talking and people listening, right? So whether you're the oracle, whether you're the person reading the auras, whether you're the person who's sending in funds to have a reading, it doesn't matter. You're the person who's like giving advice for trips and layovers. You're the person who's giving advice for how to vacuum the floor with a 5-year-old. Like, it doesn't matter what the case may be. Just do it, just post, and I will be out of your hair. Okay, so definitely too hot up in here, honestly. So that's coming through for you guys. You have a presence about you. That's what it says here in the Memento Mori card. There's a life to you, a presence, and a depth, okay? But I'm going to leave it reading here before I get too crazy. I hope it resonates. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you can always do so using my email in the description box below. But I do always hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 3s. I forgot for a second. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. Today's reading is going to be about how do you come off on social media? What do people think of you? How do they view you based on your profile or persona on social media, okay? So let's get right into it. Just a disclaimer, if you are someone who has like a private social media and then a public social media, like you make content, then you're also like, but it's not like for everyone to see. How can I describe it? Basically, if you have 2 profiles or more, choose different readings because you may come off as different ways to different people, okay? I did a reading like this, a year ago, and I ended up being called or drawn to 2 piles, right? And that's because I have this profile, and then I also have one for like people that I know. You know what I mean? So the people that I know on my private profile wouldn't see me or know me as they would if they were watching me on this profile, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get right into it. Please, Spirit, how does the public, how do people view my group 3 social media? Okay. How do they view them on social media? That was, wow. Interesting. They could see you as someone who's very confident, borderline cocky is what I'm getting, because we have the King of Wands in reverse. You know, we'll take these out and then get more cards if need be. But I remember this card flew out first. We have the World. Interesting. So you can be a traveler or you post your travels to social media. The World card is also someone who's like a lot of eyes on them. So I think for your pile specifically, I think there's a lot of people watching you that you don't know are watching you. A lot of people that don't comment or like, they're just like I don't even know how to describe it, lurking, you know? What do they call it? Monitoring you, right? Monitoring spirits vibe. They're just sitting there like, oh, what are you posting? What are you doing? But they're not interacting or liking or, you know, anything or saying anything. They're just lurking, you know? So out of all the groups you guys are giving, you have lurkers. They could be low-key, like just haters or people who don't want to see you be great. I mean, if you have like a public profile, that's like to be, I guess, expected, because you're just allowing anyone to have a view of you, but it's definitely giving you think you're hot-ish and they may not think so, or they're mad that you have such confidence in yourself. With the Wands energy coming through, you're someone who is very sassy, very spunky, very stylish, very attractive. You're very outspoken, right? You have a big personality, and that triggers some people. Someone who's comfortable in their own skin and like knows how to dress, do their hair, kind of thing. And people just would watch and lurk and be upset and never compliment you or say anything good to you, right? So that's what's coming through. What else is coming through? We have the Page of Cups coming out. We also have the Chariot. Yeah. You're definitely someone who's like full of life. I'm hearing you have a lot of character to you. So you could definitely be someone who's big into character development, or you're someone who has like done a lot of work and you've changed. Now this change you have experienced could have been something that made them like you even less. It's kind of what I'm getting, you know? They're kind of like, oh, who do you think you want? You got better, more attractive, right? For some of you, it's giving you kind of went through a weight loss or a body transformation where you went from someone who didn't really have the biggest booty, right? And you was in the gym doing the squats, working the booty, and then all of a sudden you pop down, your body looks fire, and everyone is mad. So whatever transformation you've gone through, or maybe you were someone who's like a partier, wild child, now you're someone who's more settled down, right? Or the opposite, you were someone who was more quiet, now you're more loud, now you're more rambunctious, now you're more confident. And people are like, who do they think they are? Kind of energy, you know? Oh, just a bunch of haters in the mix, honestly. But I think there's a change you've gone through. But yeah, you're definitely someone who goes after what they want. That's what they're thinking of you. You're someone who could be like very outgoing is like the word I'm thinking of. Someone who's very outgoing, someone who's very social. We have Apollo here, and Apollo rules over the arts, right? He also represents the sun as well. So you have a lot of eyes on you for sure, I think. Especially if it comes to you being very talented at one thing or the other. You know, you could be talented at multiple things. You could be talented at makeup. People are clowning you for wearing makeup at all. You could be someone who's good at getting dressed, and they're clowning you for knowing how to dress. Like, a bunch of stuff is coming through. And then we have the Tower Poseidon. Wow. You saw it was hiding under this card here. I had no idea the tower came out. And that's kind of what's coming through. People get triggered by you quite easily on social media. And it's like an inferiority complex on their part. It has nothing to do with you. But you know that's how the cookie crumbles. And we have the King of Wands coming through here. Look, they can look, but they can't touch energy. They want to be you is what's coming through. This is the first reading I've got where there's been some negative, dusty energy coming through. So just, you know, maybe cleanse yourself, cleanse your profiles, you know what I mean? Or if you don't give a flying fluke, which I don't think you do, just keep being you. Make them even more mad, child. We love a good hater. It means you're doing something right. But there's people from all over the world watching your profile. But like I said, you may have no idea because they're not interacting with you. Okay, some of you could have some haters, like I said, past friends, lovers, whatever, who's watching you and like, Who do they think they are? They got so much better looking or more confident, more sure of themselves. You're making more money, getting more followers, finally finding your niche where you fit in the world, and they're mad, right? The messages are coming through quite quickly. Here we have the Eight of Cups, as I freaking said that. Exactly. There's people you walked away from that are still out there in the world watching you. So just be aware of that. Wow. The messages are quite clear. Maybe some of you could be quite intuitive yourself and you know this already. You're not hearing anything you don't already know. Okay, here we have the Page of Cups. So there's something here very like light, carefree, innocent about you. I'm hearing you're someone who could be easy to smile or and have a good time or attract really positive vibes, or people are always looking at you kind of energy. You're always wondering why. It's because you give off this Page of Cups energy. There's like a brightness to your demeanor, like a light that people can't help be attracted to. And that's what attracts or draws people to you with the Page of Cups. I'm going to clarify for the Page of Cups. Why is this here? In regards to what people are thinking about my group. 2s, 3s, sorry. Some of you could have felt called to group 2. We have 3 of Wands. Yeah, someone who's very adventurous, very spunky, very outgoing, very friendly. You could have like a mean side eye, very discerning as well. I'm discerning with my time. What song is that? I'm discerning with my time. The song is not coming through. But anyway, yeah, you're very discerning when it comes to who's in your life. With the World and the Eight of Cups, another way to spin this energy would be you're someone who's always up and out. You're always doing something. You're always going somewhere, always posting that you're doing something. You could be the kind of person who posts like a lot of videos in your car is what I'm getting specifically, because we have the Chariot card coming through, but we also have the World, which is movement, it's travel, it's accomplishments. So they see you as someone who's very accomplished, okay? But the World is like movement, travel, and then we have the Eight of Cups, which is moving on to something better, right? So there's a lot of people you left in your past, like I said, that's still watching you, but you can post a lot of content in your car. I think that's like a big popular thing. I don't have a car, so I'll be located. Like, okay, mister, I'll have a car. You know what I mean? Not like really hating, but just like, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna have a car one day. Mark my words. Y'all gonna see me posting readings in a car like, what's her name? Is her name Jadina on YouTube? She be posting all these readings in her car. I'm like, well, good for you. But I don't have a car to post nothing in. But one day I will. And y'all gonna be sick of me. Okay. I would like one more card, please, Spirit. One more card for how are people viewing them on social media. Appreciate you. We have 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups? No, 2 of Coins. That's what I get for reading. Some of you have like a very youthful air to you. Oh, 3 cards came out. Damn. Or dang. A lot of cards. Okay, let's see. Here we have the Queen of Cups. Oh, so you're very soft. You're very pretty. You could post content that like shows off the soft side to you, or you just look very youthful, because we have a lot of youthful energy coming through. When I think of the Queen of Cups, she does give me very youthful, like I said, very intuitive, very tuned in, very discerning. So that's coming through again. But we also have the Page of Cups coming through here, and the Page of Cups is also like kind of youthful, like just excited to be here, just living life, enjoying yourself kind of energy. You know, you're not taking anything too seriously, right? You could post a lot in general, but it's giving me you post a lot of messages, because pages represent messages. They also represent someone who is just starting something. They're just beginning their journey. So some of you can be really young and you've accomplished a lot in your youth, or you're someone who's always posting your interests or opinions, you know? Some of you could be models or aspiring models, or you should model is what I heard. All those apply. Here we have the 2 of Wands, and then we have the 3 of Wands. Yeah, exploring your passions. You're a very passionate individual. You have like a lot of different passions is what I'm hearing. So one day you're talking about one person or one thing. The next day you're talking about another thing, right? That's what's coming through very strongly for you guys. That's how people are viewing you over on social media. This coming out to clarify the Towers. You always have a backup plan is kind of what I'm getting as well. But on social media, let me stop trying to talk about just you as a person and just do this in reference to social media. So if people are seeing you on social media, the Tower card coming through here, you could kind of be seen as a train wreck, or you kind of, maybe you are someone who like claps back at people who talk negatively about you or comment negatively. That's what's coming through as well with the Tower card. But the Two of Wands is definitely someone who's easy to get up and start something new. You're not giving someone who's like shy or meek. You're giving someone who is bold and brave and courageous. You know, I'm getting Aries energy for you guys because they're the first to do something. They're not waiting for everyone else to do it. They're going to start something. And if everyone comes along, fine, but they have no problem doing things on their own. You know what I mean? So maybe you're someone who's always by themselves as well. You know, if that makes any kind of sense. You know, there's all kinds of social media, but some people post family content, they post friend content, they post themselves like with people, without people. You're giving me the kind of person who's posting yourself by yourself. So most of the time anyway. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're always by yourself. And it could be because you're very discerning and you know people be hating out here, right? Like, that's the logical way to do things. People do be hating. With the King of Wands, you could like promote your business as well. That's something coming through. You're someone who promotes your business. So, like I said, you're someone who is quite successful, or you've made money at being this personality. So maybe you are like maybe a TV personality. I know everyone watching is not going to be a TV personality, but you know those people like what Cardi B used to be on Love and Hip Hop and what the Jersey Shore people are now. They kind of come from TV, putting on a show, you know what I mean? Winning people over with their personality or lack thereof, right? Giving little glimpses into their life is what's coming through mostly for you guys. Some of you are very intense. Others of you are very cutesy. So just take what resonates. Some of you have like, you post beauty content for sure. Whether you're older or younger, it doesn't matter. I'm getting a vibe of some of you posting like relationship content as well. But people see you as someone who's very easy to get along with. Very charming. Here we have the Two of Coins, Oceanus. So yeah, you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's giving like someone who dibble and dabbles, right? You're seen as someone who's quite deep as well. I don't think you're giving like shallow or surface level. You're giving someone who's very deep. Wow, it's really quiet in here. Maybe you have your moments of being quiet. Here we have the Magician coming through for you guys. The triple moon goddess Hecate. So maybe you are also seen as someone who is very witchy. You kind of dabble in the occult with the Hecate coming through the Magician. Or you're just seen as someone who can make their dreams come true. Like I'm hearing like manifestation, stuff like that. That could be things you post about. Either way, you're really good at getting what you want. It's the vibe that's coming through for you guys. Let's see what else we can get for you. I'm hearing exotic, so people can consider you exotic. People love that word. People could always ask you where you're from if they're coming on your page as someone who doesn't already know you. But it is giving some of you have like a lot of just viewers, people who just watch but don't really say anything. Also, you guys could definitely be models if you ever wanted to be. It's the vibe that's coming through as well. Here we have the magic mushroom. It says miracles, fairy energy opening up. That's what I was getting with all the page energy. So it was very innocent, very open, you know, very friendly. You have like a lighthearted vibe and air to you. Very positive, good vibes is the vibe. Good vibes is the vibe. But that's definitely what it's giving though. Like someone who everyone can get along with, honestly. It says stay open, literally, to the good and beautiful things. You do. And then look, we have the mystic. Yeah, so some of you guys are definitely giving spiritual. You don't have to blatantly talk about it or post about it, but it's giving like a hint. I'm hearing soulful as well. It's giving like neo soul for some of you. where you kind of wear the hair wrapped up. Maybe you wear the evil eye. Maybe you wear the crystals. Maybe you talk about tarot cards. Maybe you talk about candle magic. Maybe you actually post stuff about the occult as well as like a teaching lesson, which is why, and that I feel like that's also something that's very common on those kinds of videos on social media where there's a lot of views, not that much engagement. So that could definitely be where that's coming from. People are watching you from all over the world, but they're not really engaging with you, which is why they're just watching, you know? It says there is a reason you have those dreams, the mystic, intuition, high priestess, visionary. The Page of Cups does give me someone who is very connected or one with Mother Earth, who's very connected with themselves, you know, very intuitive. You could definitely be someone who, I'm hearing a dream walker, whew, please. But you could definitely be someone who has like big lofty dreams and goals you want to kind of create. There's something about your eyes is what I'm getting as well. Maybe they think you have pretty eyes. The mystic is definitely kind of giving me hypnotic energy. So you could definitely like lure people under your spell is what I'm getting. But the high priestess and the magician coming out in the same reading, or the mystic and the magician period, is definitely giving some of you are seen as very, very magical. Like you're out of this world, you don't belong here is what's coming through as well. So we have the portal and it says adventure, ancestors, and calling. So that's what's coming through as well. That's also something you could talk about. Spirit guides, ancestors, all those things are like, they just scream spiritual, they scream occult. So if you're talking about these things in your posts at all on social media or in what you say or do, it's definitely giving you believe in that. Angel numbers too, you can post about that, you know. But they definitely think you have a calling with the Are You Ready? You're very connected to Earth. Like I said, we have this little girl here. Whenever I see this scene, I always think of Pocahontas and Mother Willow in Pocahontas. One more card, please, Spirit. One more card. How do people view them on social media? They think they're a little scared of you, honestly. I'm not even going to lie. I'm hearing they don't want to end up in your crosshairs. Hecate, while she is the magician and she is magic and witchcraft, so is Circe. And I believe Circe is like someone who like has, I don't even know. Hold on. Because both represent witchcraft and magic, but I know that Hecate is kind of like very powerful. I just want to see what's the difference between them. So just give me a second. She is one, the magician. So she is, yeah, she's the goddess of magic, witchcraft, the moon, ghosts, and necromancy. Yeah, there's a difference between Circe and Hecate, and I believe Hecate is more feared. She's more like well-known, and she's also more feared. So you could definitely be someone who's well-known or known for being feared, or people are scared of you, whatever the case may be. But it says Hecate was a powerful second-generation Titan goddess who was feared by even such as Zeus for her strong powers within magic. She spent most of her time in the underworld as a companion to Persephone, assisting to keep away evil spirits. She was either single or triple formed, standing back to back to look in all directions at once from a crossroad. Interesting. And I'm watching Supernatural, and it's like giving Crossroads demon. Okay, so Risen, it's willpower, desire, creation, manifestation, influence, and intellect, okay? Like I was saying, you're giving Circe, and Circe in this deck is the Queen of Swords, which makes a lot of sense as well. So you're giving Circe and then a little bit of Hecate, and they're both kind of feared because Circe, from what I could tell, and then from in the book, and then from what I saw of her in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the show on Netflix, she like has an island that she keeps people trapped on. And she turns men into animals. So it's kind of like they both have like this mythos around them, like whispers, like don't mess with that person, they're going to turn you into this and that. So the fact that Circe and Hecate is coming into your energy or coming into your reading, you're definitely someone's giving dark feminine, don't mess with me, like stay away kind of energy, which is probably why people don't even comment on your thing, because they don't want you to do anything. They don't want you to turn them into a mouse or a bird, or they don't want you to send any dark magic their way because they're scared. So you don't have to be someone who is scary, or I'm not saying people who practice in the occult are scary, but the goddesses that are coming through are feared, you know, and revered, you know. But there's a hint of like, don't mess with me energy coming through there. So even though you may look sweet and innocent and friendly and jovial, there's also a vibe of don't F with me, you know? But yeah. The moon is also someone who's ever changing. So like I said, you've gone through cycles from what people can tell. Okay. I think I wanted one more card from this deck. That's what I was doing before I was distracted. One more card, please, Spirit. Thank you. You ask and you receive is what's coming through. So you're very much a good manifester. You could be someone who like makes videos about, I'm going to get asked for this and I'm going to ask for that. And then you kind of get it, you know? Or it doesn't matter what happens in your life. You always kind of get back up on top. You always come out on top, whichever one of those makes sense. Okay, so we have the mirror. It says self-reflection, writer, and big picture. So mirrors always represent reflection, right? But this one is saying self-reflection. So maybe you kind of reflect people's worst nightmares or fantasies back to them, which is why they're so scared. Or it's like they're looking at you and immediately judging themselves in comparison to you. And that's like never a good thing, because comparison is the thief of joy. So if they're watching your profile saying this person has that, this, and that, they're good at manifesting. They're so successful with the world coming through and the magician, right? And Apollo, you're good at getting what you want, you know, going after your divine cues, right? And they're looking at you and comparing them. So maybe something could have been called a group one. This was kind of coming through group one. I can easily see why people are like trying to send bad vibes your way, because you're talented, you're beautiful, you're lucky, and they're like, okay, but what about me? You know, this person kind of has it all, and it's not right. Okay. Mine is mine. What's mine is mine. Don't speak upon me. I don't need to reply. My body is yours and mine is mine. Oh, that's what is coming through the song. I finally got it. It's Yes and by Ariana Grande. You know what I mean? And that's literally the perfect time, right? But also the perfect response for this song to come through. So basically the song Yes and by Ariana Grande is an ode to all the people who were hating on her and speaking all this mess about her. Not saying she's always in the right or always like this holier than thou figure who can't be wrong, but people are so focused on making her the bad guy, making her the villain, that they don't realize that she's also human, having a human experience. No one is perfect. Just because she's in the spotlight and a celebrity doesn't mean that she's going to be perfect and not make mistakes, right? But basically she's like, don't speak upon my body, do not reply. I'm sexy, something discerning with my time. Something about what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. Why do you care so much whose I ride? Something about bodies and why do you care whose body I'm riding? Yes and say that ish with your chest. Be your own effing best friend. Say that ish with your chest. Okay, so that's coming through. Ariana Grande's Yes and. I'm like, I know the song, but it wasn't coming all the way through. This is the perfect time for it to come through, like I said, because we could wrap the reading up with a pretty little bow, which is giving mind your business, I'm doing me, you do you, and that's about it, okay? So I do believe when it comes to like judgment and things like that, you are judged more harshly than other people, or people are just always freaking watching. You can't make one misstep without them like just pouncing on it. Like, oh, they did this, they did that, you know what I mean? Boy, people just give me your business. We have a writer coming through with this mirror, so you could definitely be a writer as well. But you're definitely someone who's focused on the big picture thinking. And that could be something you talk about. The card itself says, or the book, it says, did you forget all you had to go through to be you? No, you don't. You don't. Because you wear all that on your sleeve, okay? Now we're going to pull from one more deck, this one right here. And get some final messages, please, Spirit, for my group 3s. How are people viewing them on social media? Here we have waves of emotion. So someone who's quite emotional. You go with your gut instinct. You go with your feeling, whatever you're feeling in the moment is what you go with. I'm trying to give you more space to see the card. You can be a good dancer. You have a good body. Here we have the sound of silence. So maybe you move in silence, right? Everything you're doing, people don't know. You're in your beautiful house, in your beautiful negligee, your beautiful satins and pearls, and just dipping your foot in the water with your cute little bird and your nice chateau, minding your business. Oh boy, you mind your business. That's how people view you as well. You mind your business. Here we have listen. Maybe you're always listening. The way Big Brother's always watching. And then we have celebration. So yeah, it's definitely giving you're always celebrating something, a milestone. You always have something to celebrate. It's like you're off to the races. You're someone who's getting very popular. And people can't wait to see where you go. At the bottom of the deck, we have bountiful harvest. Yeah, you're going places. You're going places. If you haven't already. Drinking water or minding your business. Like Patrice said in the Mind Your Business song or Mind My Business song. You're very much at peace. You're definitely giving me the person who does their meditation, does their chanting, does their yoga, does their like breath work, does their self-care healing work. Okay, with this sound of silence. So meditation can be a thing as well. And then look, we have this person like enveloping the sun somehow. You could be someone who's very, like, your energy is very high. It's like being punched in the gut, you know? You could be someone who's not the best to yourself at times. Because gut punches have me think of Nick Jonas's song. Hit me like a gut punch. I still na. When did I get so good at being me to myself? I should turn the heat down. Tell myself to chill out. Something with that gut punch Nick Jonas is coming through. So you can definitely be someone who's hard on yourself. I don't know if you would show that on social media, but that could be a thing as well. Okay, so my group threes, I was putting away your cards and I realized that I didn't show you this card. It was at the bottom of the deck, but it had turned over. So it was meant for you guys, the Siren Song. There's something very alluring, very magnetic about you as well. Your presence, which kind of came through in the King of Wands, but it's giving you can convince people to do anything, right? They will follow you to the ends of the earth kind of energy. And there's like just a draw, a pull that you have that kind of keeps them coming back for more, you know? But yeah, now I'm done. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a reading here. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always do so using my email in the description box below. I do always hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. If you feel like hyping the video, please do that. I also have memberships available if you feel called to join the memberships. Just click join at the bottom, right next to my picture, I guess, or you can find the link in the description box below, right above the timestamps, okay? But I do hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. As always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye.